Hey friends, it's me, Christiana Gaudet, your Tarot Fairy Godmother, and it's time for our January edition of Global Tarot Circle. I'm so happy to see all of you here. And of course, IT John is here with me running the controls, so we're really grateful for him as well. So, for those of you just coming in who haven't done Global Tarot Circle before, the first thing we want from you is your name, the deck you're using, if you have your cards with you, and where in the world you are. The second thing we want from you is your burning question. Now, Gianna, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for asking those tarot questions. Yes, we absolutely will do those questions. The way we work is for the first half hour, we'll do readings, and in the second half hour, approximately, we'll do tarot study. So yours, Gianna, will be the first question we do in the second half of our time together, and feel free to put in a question for a reading as well. All right, so happy to see all of you, first of all. Smile Soul 20, I'm so glad you're here. Lisa Harmon, oh, and Smile Soul 20, thank you so much for being a member. Lisa Harmon, thank you for being a member. Lisa Harmon started off with us and then didn't feel good. So Lisa, we hope you're feeling better, and we know you'll catch us in the replay. All right, so let's see. Peggy Lou Leven, so good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. Using the Wiser Tarot in the ancient forest of Oak Hill, Florida. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's see. Disco Bunny, so good to see you. Caroline McLaughlin, glad you're here. Thanks for being a member. Sarah, thank you for being here. Thanks for being a member. You're in Punta Gorda, Florida, using the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. Back to the basics for you. Jenny, Virginia W., thanks for being... You're so funny. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. You are relieved that you're not on camera tonight. Okay, then, and you're in Waterford, Connecticut. Angel Miller here in Australia. Deirdre Martin, my friend, so good to see you. Thanks for being here for the first time. We will absolutely do your reading. Kristen Louise, glad you're here using the Ritual Tarot from Columbus, Ohio. Very good. And Disco Bunny, you're Kristen in Connecticut using Golden Girls Tarot. Audrey M., so good to see you. Happy New Year to you. Kimmy's Divination Station, thanks for being a member. And Audrey M., thanks for being a member. Glad to see both of you. Audrey, you're from Delray Beach, Florida, using the RWS. And Audrey will very often, along with many other people, take the drive from Delray up to Palm City for our Cards and Conversation Tarot meetup. It's like an hour drive. So I really appreciate you doing that. And if you are going to do it, you're going to be doing it this coming Sunday, 4 p.m., Panera, Palm City. Anyone who is local or local-ish, plan to join us. And Ginny, you're using the Radiant Rider-Waite. All right, Karen Thomas here for the first time. So glad you're here. Kimmy's Divination Station, you're in Rochester. I didn't know where you were, but Rochester makes so much sense for you. Perfect, love it. Using the Delos Tarot, I'm not familiar with that. Trey Cameron, so good to see you. Thanks for being a member. You're in Los Angeles using the RWS. Very good. Audrey, you are planning on being with us on Sunday. That's great. Okay, Sarah, it's never too late to go back to basics. Yeah, that's a good tarot question, too. We have a lot of good tarot questions. Okay. Angelic Michelle, so good to see you. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being a member. Thanks for renewing your membership. And you're using Everyday Witch, such a great deck. All right. Let's get going with our readings. John, can you move us over to Card Cam? Maybe. There we are. Oh, and what have we here? Oh my goodness gracious. Look, look, look. It just came in the mail. Now, you can get your digital copy of the StaarCon program. It's available on the StaarCon website. If you come to StaarCon in person, one of these will be yours. And we are so excited. For those of you who don't know, StaarCon is coming up this month, January 19th through 21st. You can join us in person in West Palm Beach or online on Excel Events. Ticket prices range from $10 to $500. Grab your ticket. We'll hope to see you there. All right. I know, that's beautiful, right, Sarah? All right, so here's how we do this thing. I will do, oh, DH, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member in Connecticut with the Rider Tarot. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, and I'm Christiana. I'm in Palm City, Florida, and I am also using this very beat up copy of Wiser Tarot. Gotta love it. All right, so once again, a huge shout out to the members. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you everyone for being here. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. And if you haven't liked this video, please do. All right, so here's how this is going to work. We will take the questions in the order that I see them. I'll read the question aloud. I will pull one card to answer the question. I'll give my answer. If you would like to do the reading as well, you will put in the comment the name of the person you're reading for, the name of the single card you pulled, and your interpretation in answer to their question. We really are a global tarot circle. That's how this works. So if you're putting in a question and looking for a reading, don't just listen to me. Make sure you read through and get the full reading from all the people here. Oh, Angel, I see those questions. Good, 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 good. We will absolutely talk about all of those things. Okay. So right now we are doing readings. And the first reading is Smile Soul 20. Once again, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. What does the universe want me to know? And y'all know that's like my favorite question if you want a reading and you don't know what to ask. It's really the default question of every general reading. So people who say like, I can't do a general reading. Yes, you can, because a general reading has a question, and it is, what does the universe want me to know? All right, so here we go. Smile Soul 20. What does the universe want you to know? Justice reversed. There are certainly things going on that feel unfair and out of balance. Be aware of that, but choose your reaction, or even if you're going to react, choose that very, very carefully. You may want to wait and see if it'll balance itself out. Okay, so if you'd like to do that reading, at Smile Soul 20, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. And we're going to read for Lisa Harmon, even though she is not here. We will read for her. She'll come back and get it in the replay. So she's up next. And Lisa, thank you so much for being a member. If you'd like to do this reading, the question is, what does the universe want me to know? Lisa Harmon, name of the card you got and your interpretation. The card that I got, we'll find it. And that's the whole thing with jumper cards, right? Is the card really jumping, or is the reader just clumsy? Sometimes it could be either. Oh gosh, I'm sorry that's right on point, Smile Soul 20. I wish it wasn't. Okay, Lisa Harmon. What does the universe want Lisa Harmon to know? 5 of Pentacles reversed. There are many opportunities for you. Many, many opportunities for the things that you want and the things that you want to do. All right, and again, if you'd like to do that reading, at Lisa Harmon, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. Next up, Peggy Lou Levens. Thanks for being a member. Thanks for being here. What does the universe want Peggy Lou to know? If you'd like to do this reading, at Peggy Lou Levens, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. What does the universe want Peggy Lou to know? 8 of Swords reversed. You can be freer than you sometimes think you can be. There is healing and there is freedom available to you, more and better than you might have assumed. All right, next question goes to 64, Amy Penn. How will my interview go tomorrow? Amy's looking for a job. This is a job interview. If you would like to do this reading, at 64, Amy Penn, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. All right. All right. 64, Amy Penn. How will my interview go tomorrow? The World. Man, this could be everything. I don't want you to, I don't want you to get too cocky here. Like with the World, I'm thinking this is going to be the one, or like it's everything or nothing, right? Either this is the job or you're going to walk out like, no freaking way. So it's going to be one or the other, right? Either definitely yes or definitely no. But I have to say, with the world here, you are coming very close to completing your job search. Maybe with this interview. Let's see what other people have to say. 64 Amy Penn, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. How will her interview go tomorrow? Okay. Okay. So Sarah, here's your burning question, which really could be like a tarot question or a question we could do readings on. And I mean, it's an interesting one. I say we do readings on it because this is a good way to practice clarifiers. A single card can be a clarifier. So let's do this for Sarah. And Sarah, thank you for being a member. Thanks for using members only emojis. Can't wait to see you at StaarCon. Okay, here's the question. I did a New Year's spread, and my card of the year is 3 of Wands. Gotta love that. January is Justice. I'm a bit confused on what the Justice card means for this month and would love clarification. So if you want to do this as a reading, and I think we should, it's going to be like, okay, the Justice is the card pulled to describe the energy of the month for Sarah. Now you're going to pull a single card to clarify it. How does the card clarify Justice? This is a really great exercise in working with clarifiers. All right. So, clarifying the Justice card for Sarah. The Queen of Pentacles. I think it's about work and home stuff. It's about finding balance. Balance between your own home and maybe parent stuff. Balance in terms of your work and also where you want to go career-wise. It's about learning to be fair to yourself as well as to others. Recognizing that sometimes some other people around you will make it feel like doing them a favor is actually what you owe them and you don't. So there's boundaries in this and very specifically stuff about work and home and finding the balance therein that serves you. And, maybe especially with work. That's what I get. If you'd like to do this reading, at Sarah, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. Next up, we have Deirdre Martin. Deirdre, I have not seen you in a long time. It is so great to see you here tonight. If you would like to do this reading, at Deirdre Martin, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. The question is, my favorite question, what does the universe want me to know? Let's take a look and see. Deirdre. Oh, the universe wants you to know that there could be some upsetting things going on. There could maybe even be for you a tendency toward depression or anxiety or insomnia. But whatever's going on, there are solutions, there are fixes. Look for the solutions, look for the fixes. Do not suffer and just think you have to suffer because you don't. All right. Next one up is Alon. How will the conversation go with A? Anything positive going to come out of it? If you would like to do this reading, at Alon, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. Hey, Lady Lenormand, so good to see you here. Thanks for being here. Lady Lenormand is a presenter at StaarCon and a sponsor of StaarCon and just an all-around fabulous human being. So, so excited to have you here. Okay. So, if you'd like to do this reading, at Alon, the name of the card you got and your interpretation, how will the conversation go? Anything positive going to come out of it? 4 of Cups reversed. I think you'll try, because you have a particular agenda, I think. And so you may try to find something positive where nothing positive exists. I don't think it's going to be a terrible conversation. I think it will be fine. Just be realistic about what you're hearing and what is possible. Be careful about that. All right. Trey Cameron is the next question I see. And friends, If you see that I've skipped someone, I try, very hard to take things in order, but it's easy for me to get lost. So if you see that I've skipped someone, please let me know. And thank you everyone for doing readings. I see a lot of readings happening, and I really appreciate you playing with us. Okay. And in all of that, I just overscrolled. Hey, Betty Fleischer, good to see you. Can't wait to see you at StaarCon. Thanks for being a member. You're in Madison, West Virginia, using out-of-hand tarot. Very good, very good. Okay. And let's see. I had my question, and now I lost my question. It was Trey. Hello, Trey. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being a member. We appreciate you. What does the universe want me to know? If you would like to do this reading, at Trey Cameron, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What does the universe want Trey to know? Eight of Pentacles. It feels like you are learning and growing and working on things in a way that's really positive. So maybe the universe has given you sort of an attaboy pat on the back right there. Learning, working, creating. Good stuff. Okay. Kanchan Verma, you're up next. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here with us this evening. Anyone, if you'd like to do this reading, at Kanchan Verma, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. Here we go. I have this feeling that this past guy, who we're going to call T, hates me, as far as I had sensed from his words. Though it was in the past. What do you see? Okay, Kanchan wants to know, does T hate her? Let's see. If you'd like to do this reading, at Kanchan Verma, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. No. I really don't think so. With the High Priestess, no, I see respect. Maybe distance, but respect, not hate, respect. Haha, Gianna, did I just see explaining tarot to your cat? Yes, to know and understand just how much fun you will have at StaarCon, whether you come in person or online. We are people at StaarCon who want to teach you how to explain tarot to your cat and why you should. So there you go. Other ways to become explaining tarot to your cat and other ways to become a better reader. There you go. All right. Here we go. Next up. Virginia W. Ginny. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. This is a great question. If you'd like to do this reading, at Virginia W., the name of the card you got and your interpretation. What does Spirit have to say about being angry and its consequences for me? Okay, very good. Oh, Kanchan Verma, thank you. Thank you. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of all of StaarCon, to be honest. All right. Ginny, what does Spirit have to say about being angry and its consequences? Maybe the biggest consequence is when you don't forgive yourself. You know, it's true, and I will often say, if you're in a situation, the person who loses their temper first is the one who lost. But we're human. And you're human, and there's nothing here that says there's bad consequences here for you, Ginny, and there's nothing here that says you're some kind of angry old bee who's having some kind of problem. So what the universe says, it seems, what Spirit says, it seems, is that when you are angry, it's because you need healing. Don't worry about the consequences. Catch it as soon as you can. Get out of the situation. Drink a glass of water, take off your clothes, go swimming. No, seriously, whatever you got to do, allow for healing. Anger means you need healing. There it is. All right. Okay, we've got a great question from Angel about decks, which we are going to do when we start our tarot studies segment. But next, we're going to read for DH. Hey, Dina Moskowitz, good to see you. Thanks for being here. DH, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. We really appreciate you. If you'd like to do this reading, at DH, the name of the card you got in your interpretation. What does the universe want DH to know? Let's find out. Ooh. All righty. DH, the universe would like you, as you begin this new year, to think about what you're attached to. And if it's worth being attached to, then attach to it like a mofo. Seriously, attach. And if it's not worth being attached to, let it go. There's no middle ground. Be attached or not be attached. One or the other. Oh, Peggy Lou, yeah, that's good for all of us. Anger means you need healing. Yeah, there it is. There it is. We could all take something from that. Thank you, Peggy. Okay. Angelic Michelle, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being a member. What does the universe want me to know? If you'd like to do this reading, at Angelic Michelle, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. What does the universe want you to know? King of Cups, that the most important thing is love. And whether that's about, this is a good card for romantic love, so there's that, but just all the kinds of love. And really stepping into this year. Your name is Angelic Michelle, right? So stepping into this year with that full high vibration of spiritual love in your heart and around you. There we are. All right. Audrey M., let's do this. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. Thanks for using members only emojis. I'd like a card for what the universe wants to tell me. Very good. If you'd like to do this reading, at Audrey M., the name of the card you got and your interpretation. Let's go. The Hanged One, a reversed. So for me, that's about what are you ready to take control of? As you start a new year, Audrey, what has been out of control that you're ready to put in control? Where are you ready to rise up and move? That's the question. It's time. Okay, Vaishali, good to see you. Thanks for being here. What does the universe want me to know? Absolutely. If you'd like to do this reading, at Vaishali, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. Here we go. Six of Pentacles. If you need help, ask for it. If you're in a position to help someone else, do it. But do not feel like you have to give of yourself in a situation where you're not receiving back. It must be reciprocal in some way. All right. All right. George is up next. Can I know what Sherry feels right now toward me? And if you'd like to do this reading, at George, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. I would say that with Temperance reversed, there's impatience in the whole situation. I think that's really where it's at, is impatience. Okay, now I may pronounce your name wrong. Is it Laisha? 151, L-A-I-C-A 151. Thanks for being here. The question is, what does the universe want me to know? If you'd like to do this reading, at Laisha 151, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. Here we go. Ooh, I shuffled, but this came up for you as well. So this could bode well for you romantically, but it is a reminder that anything in your life, any problem in your life, any situation in your life, hit it with love first, seriously. Even when you feel anger, even when you feel upset, take a breath, remember to love yourself, remember to love the people around you, and that will cause problems to solve more easily. All right. Caroline McLaughlin, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. Thanks for using members only emojis. What does the universe want me to know? Yes, indeed. If you'd like to do this reading at Caroline McLaughlin, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation, here we go. Caroline, the Page of Cups reversed. Don't say mean things to yourself, and don't feel like you have to communicate with people you don't want to communicate with. And if you don't have to, you don't have to. Don't feel guilty about taking some space for yourself. Okay. Emily Liana, I'm still not sure I'm pronouncing your name correctly, but thank you so much for being here. Can you tell me what my ex's future action toward me will be? If you'd like to do this reading at Emily, the name of the card you got and your interpretation, what will your ex's future action towards you be? I think your ex is going to try to get back together with you. I'm not suggesting that's a good idea, but I think it could happen. I think the attempt could be made. Okay. Kimmy's Divination Station, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. What does Spirit know is the highest and best for me? All right, and looking forward to seeing you virtually at StaarCon. And so Kimmy and I have a thing in common, having to do with our affection for a certain band. And Kimmy often asks me to include a lyric from said band in said reading. I'm going to try today. Y'all don't have to do that, though. If you want to do this reading, at Kimmy's Divination Station, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. All right, what does Spirit know is the highest and best for me? 4 of Pentacles reversed. Being open to learning and doing new things, and being willing to welcome new wealth. I'm having a hard time in my mind finding the right lyric to go with that. But we're going to go with this. Wake up to find out that you are the eyes of the world. I know, it's a throwaway, but it kind of works with this card. I like it anyway. All right, here we go. Hey, Rose, good to see you. Wendy, glad you're here. Perfect. Okay, here we go. Okay, Mariana, am I going to find a job next month? If you'd like to do this reading at Mariana, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. 3 of Pentacles, very definitely yes. I mean, if you look, you will find. Definitely. You couldn't have gotten a better card here. All right. Oh, here we go. Here's a great reading question for Angel Miller, who also asked some great card questions that we'll be handling in just a few minutes. But if you'd like to do this reading at Angel Miller, the name of the card you got and your interpretation, what role should tarot play in my life? Cups. I feel like you need to be careful not to become a tarot fundamentalist. Tarot can really help you open to your intuition and find your direction, help you to figure out what you should walk away from and what you should walk toward. But be very, very careful, again, about not seeing the cards as... I mean, the cards do speak truth, but I think people sometimes like to very tightly attach meanings to each card in a very solid way, and I just feel like you might be a person who would want to do it that way, and you want to remember that the cards are very fluid. All right. Rose, so good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. If you'd like to do this reading, at Rose, the name of the card you got in your interpretation. What does the universe want me to know? Here we go. Rose. Justice. You have been treated unfairly in your life. You are learning to not let the lessons you learned, the things you learned that weren't true, be how you see the world. Let me say that a different way, because I know that was confusing. When you were being treated very unfairly, it made the world look a certain way to you. You are now learning that that's not really how the world always is. And that's good. All right. Lots of great readings. And I'm just going to go through to try to pick up the last few requests for readings, and then we're going to get into tarot discussion. And the first tarot discussion will be about the court cards. It's a question from Gianna, and it's a great question. She wants to know operationally the difference between kings and queens. And the example that she gave us is, if you're going to someone for help, if the King of Cups agrees to help you, how does that look differently than if the Queen of Cups helps you? Do it with any of the suits. If you're ready, tag it kings and queens. Tag it kings and queens, and let us know the difference. What will the king do differently from the queen? How would they help you? So get thinking about that, and let's get some ideas on that. Meanwhile, we're going to do another reading, which is for Wendy Robeson, spiritual advisor. We're going to see you at StaarCon too, aren't we? Looking forward to that. Thanks for being a member. Thanks for being here. What does Spirit need to tell me? If you'd like to do this reading, at Wendy Robeson, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. Wendy, the devil. There is within you a lot of residual, it's not even negative beliefs, but it's the negative beliefs that came from having negative beliefs. Like it's collateral damage from being raised with a lot of negative beliefs. Work on cleaning that out. Oh, this is good. This is good. Disco Bunny, Kristen. Okay. The King of Cups would give you a free therapy session with great advice. Okay, wait a minute. So one, which is the king and which is the queen? I've got you saying the KC in both cases. So tell me which is which. Oh, Dina, Hermetic Kabbalah. Does anyone use this with their tarot practice? Mark Horn does, and he'll be a presenter at StaarCon talking about exactly this. I don't. Does anyone do any work with Kabbalah? Tell us about it, tag it Kabbalah. All right. Just scrolling through. Okay. Amy, we got to your question for sure. Okay, here it is. Okay, so Disco Bunny says, and I need to know, do you agree with this? What do you think? The King of Cups will be a great therapist. The Queen of Cups would be a great hugger. Okay, fair. And go ahead, finish up any readings that you're doing. Sarah, this is good. Queens draw energy from within to control on a subtle subconscious level. Kings exude energy out to control by domineering. That's really interesting. I like that. That's good. Let's move on. Well, what about the King and Queen of Wands? You ask them for help. How's that going to be different? And we've got one question coming in. We'll do this reading. Liz Harrison, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. We appreciate you. What does the universe want you to know? I'll do this if anyone else wants to. Go ahead. Three of Swords. There is pain. There is heartache. We can't ignore it. It's there, but it's there for a reason. Whatever this is, don't let it lay you low. All right. Dina says, kings lead and queens nurture. Fair. Wendy, queens are more motherly. Kings are more direct. All right. All right. I would see too, what would I say about kings and queens? I would say the king is going to be more cerebral and more giving of ideas. The queen is going to be more emotional and giving of feelings. Yeah, Amy, at 64 Amy Penn, yes, and definitely read through because a number of people also read for you in the chat. So definitely read through and get that. Okay, so Gianna, let me know, what do you think about all of that? Does that all make sense? Now, the other questions here for tarot discussion are about the different decks we use. And questions around, and these, there, I think it was Sarah asked a few questions about this, and I think some other people did too. How do you choose what deck you're going to use? And in fact, Angel as well, it was both Sarah and Angel, talked about switching different decks. When do you switch decks and why? Do you have different decks that you use for different kinds of people or different sorts of problems? Is it a challenge? You want to challenge yourself. Now, Sarah asked about that, and Sarah very early on, I believe, in her tarot stuff, in her tarot journey, was like, okay, wait, let me go learn Crowley right away. You know, like Sarah is that person who wants that challenge. And so I think sometimes that is the case. So so tell me about your relationship with different decks and how that all works for you. And let's talk a little bit more about kings and queens. Kimmy, the King of Cups is the therapist who listens and cares while the Queen makes you tea and cookies and sits with you for a chat. I like it. Audrey, kings and queens. Kings are the master of a given element. Queens are the embodiment of a given element. I like it. Disco Bunny, Kristen, the Queen of Wands embodies energy, like a witch or a cheerleader. Both can embody energy. The King is more like an ADHD doer, athlete, fireman, etc. What's the difference between an athlete and a cheerleader? Curious. Like, do you mean cheerleader in the metaphoric sense or the literal sense? I have a question in that, you know. I get where you're going, but I do see, I have a question. Gianna, I think that's great and it makes sense. Good. Dina, is the king the strongest example of the suit? I would say the ace. I would say the ace is the nugget, the seed, the source. Well, and the king is maybe the greatest expression thereof? The highest octave thereof, maybe? I don't know. It's interesting. Like hearing people talk about like the queen embodies the energy, the king brings the energy. I've never thought about it that way before. I think that's really interesting. I'll have to do some thinking on that. What a great question. I love it. So Sarah, King of Wands to me is the ultimate masculine fiery energy. Yeah, that's a big D energy for sure. While the Queen of Wands is very passionate and dare I say sexy. Yeah, you absolutely can. For sure, I agree. Karen Thomas, how many tarot decks are there? Wow, that is such a great question. So there's 3 basic tarot traditions, and that would be the Waite tradition. I think this is the closest I have here to a Marseille tradition deck. So Waite, Marseille, and Crowley. I don't have a Crowley here, but I do, I mean, I have it in the other room. I do have Gill, which is Crowley inspired. So those are three different traditions. Now, I argue that there is a fourth tradition, which is feminist tarot. And I could give you a whole conversation about that. And okay, I would put this Goddess of Love tarot into that bucket, into the feminist tarot bucket. So then within each of these buckets, there are literally hundreds and thousands of decks in print. And then there's all the decks that are out of print, the collector's decks. So literally hundreds of thousands would be the answer. Hey, Cheryl Jefferson, so good to see you. Thanks for being here. Okay. Trey, here's a tarot question. Has there been a deck that's been super popular that you just never liked? For me, it's Wild Unknown. So I have here like the two that are most likely and that have already come up in conversation here. Let me get you out of the way. You get out of the way. And so we've got Wild Unknown and Lightseers. And Marion Kirk suggested that like the Wild Unknown was like the classy, popular, modern deck of last decade, and Lightseers is the classy, popular, modern deck of this decade. But they're very different than any of the traditions in some ways. I would say they're both relatively weight-based, but very, very different. Yeah, Betty, I am with you. That's mine, Deviant Moon. And I actually have a signed print from Deviant Moon, like you can see part of the frame right there. I honor it. I honor the deck, but I don't like it. No, I do not. So I'm with you on that. Wendy, I have a hard time with Wild Unknown, but I like the Lightseers. Oh, Trey, you don't like Deviant Moon either. Anyone here love Deviant Moon? I have it. I have friends who love it. True confession, any deck that has people being all like, not like, I've never enjoyed representation of people that make them different than people are. I know that sounds so weird, but I don't want to see a half moon face person. I'm sorry, I don't. I don't like that. It's just how I am. Oh. Wait, what do we have going on here? Lady Lenormand quoting the Grateful Dead. Brenda, do I not know this about you? How do I not know this about you? What's going on? Someone tell me what's going on. Wow. Trey, I wanted to like Deviant Moon. It just didn't happen. I would have thought, Trey, that you would have liked Deviant Moon. For sure. Okay. So, going back to the conversation of how do you choose what deck you're going to work with. Wendy says, I let Spirit direct me. I do have decks that are more direct than others in readings. Dina, decks. I get stuck with one deck and change Oracle decks more often. So I'll tell you, for me, I will have a workhorse deck that is my workhorse deck, and it stops being my workhorse deck when the shuffle gets hard because I wear it out. Like, for example, where did I put it? This was my original. It was a gift from Ben, Libra Does Tarot. This was my original Wiser Tarot. I'm on my third, and it only came out like last year or the year before or something. It's like I wear out decks. So I will use a deck as my workhorse until it starts to look like that and becomes hard to shuffle. And then it becomes a deck I might use here, I might use with students or that kind of thing. When do I shift decks based not on I just wore my deck out, but based on I need a different energy? Well, it's exactly that. It's when I need a different energy, and I love Lightseers. One of the few things that Brenda and I may not agree on. And that's okay. There's no tarot police. I love this deck. I absolutely do. Yes, it's very different. So I will come to this one. Like sometimes because remember, I'm a professional reader. This is my job. I come to my office, I do readings, I'm showing up for work. That's what I'm doing. And that's different from a lot of people who, when they're doing readings, they're showing up for their recreation, right? For me, it's my job. I know for a lot of you, it's your job. And so sometimes I show up for work and I just want a little extra energy. I just want a little extra excitement. Oh, Trey, you grew to like light seers. That's so cool, right? So I'll just want a little extra energy. And so I'll be like, okay, of the 200 decks that I have, there's only a few of them that are appropriate for me to read in the professional setting. What's the criteria on that? It's got to be weight-based because that's what I do. I have to have images that are not going to be super scary for people. I will use a regular weight deck because we are familiar with that. I prefer the Wiser, and I'll explain why. One of the things that I really like is racial inclusivity. And, you know, I like that this deck has been recolored to be more inclusive. Now, I think that Pamela Coleman Smith and Waite did a good job being fairly androgynous. Well, obviously not in this deck, in this card, but in many cards. You know, you look at like the pages and the knights, and they're pretty androgynous, and I appreciate that. I do appreciate a deck like Lightseers that not only has racial inclusivity, also has body size, age inclusivity, and also relationship inclusivity. You know, every time I see a couple, I don't need it to be a heterosexual couple. You know, I want to see different kinds of people pictured in the deck. And so that's important to me. Oh, Lady Lenormand, I like The Dead. I grew up on Eastern Long Island. It was on Heavy Play. Yeah, it was. That is so good. Oh, I'm so glad to know that. Trey, you grew to like Lightseers and still don't like the Page of Cups. I also do not like the Page of Cups in Lightseers. Wendy, my favorite deck is Star Tarot and the Wandering Star Tarot. Very good. Sarah, so I only have one RWS deck, my very first deck ever, same mine. It's getting a little worn and I need to buy a new one, but I feel like this one is so magical, I will never get rid of it, but what will I do with it if I get a replacement? You will keep it in a place of honor. You will keep it in your collection. You'll use it for magic. Maybe you'll use it for a very special reading, like a New Year's Eve reading or something like that. You won't get rid of it because it is special. Oh, Angela Miller, I'm wondering people's thoughts on the Mythic Tarot deck. Now, my understanding is there's the original Mythic and then it was re-released, and I'm not quite clear on that. If anyone can get me up to speed on that, I'd love to know. I will tell you, back in the day, when it first came out, I loved Mythic because it so clearly helped us understand how the cards are archetypes. And now I feel like, yeah, I still like it. I still like it. Would love to know. Wendy, love Cat Tarot, but no, it's not for everyone. So let's see. So lots of good, Kimmy's Divination Station. I realized I have a lot of Oracle decks. I have many weight decks based on Legends or Pantheon. I have a few historic just for loving. I probably have a dozen I use regularly, but I go by aesthetic. Right. So there was a question asked, are there different decks that are better for different kinds of problems? Have you found that? I mean, I think there are decks that have been designed in that way, but I can only tell you one deck that I have that I used to call the big guns, that I would bring out when I couldn't figure anything out, and I would use that deck for that. Like, if I'm stumped, I'm going to that deck. But I've not really had the experience of like some decks, Like someone here was saying some decks are more direct than others for me. I haven't had that experience, and I think different readers experience different decks differently. That's something I've really learned over time. Oh, the second one, yes. Yes, Angel, got it. Yeah, I think it's good. Oh, Kimmy, I own the original Mythic. It was my first deck. I found a mini version of it in German. That is so cool. All right, so we've talked about decks and how we choose different decks, how we use different decks. What about different systems? Like right now, I'm trying to learn runes and Lenormand. And when I say right now, I'm kind of on hiatus until after StaarCon, but that's what I'm working on. Are y'all working on other systems as well? Oh, Wendy, Pride Tarot is a good one too. Yes, absolutely. Kimmy, I love the original Mythic. Yeah, for sure. So y'all want to know a tarot deck that I absolutely hate? And it's really sad that I hate it because the art is really good, but I absolutely hate the deck because it's too, for me, it's gone way too far away from anything that I know to be tarot, and the book doesn't explain it well enough. But the art is great, and so I really wanted to like it, and that is Chrysalis Tarot. Does anyone have Chrysalis Tarot? Does anyone like it? Does anyone not like it? Would love to know. Ah, Disco Bunny, I'm working on Sabian symbols and astrology. Very good. Audrey, I'm learning how to combine astro dice with tarot. Wendy, learning bones. Excited about reading bones. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Oh my gosh, I love it. All right. So we've talked about kings and queens. We've talked about different tarot decks. I wanted to talk a little bit about the new year as well, and we talked about this in our members only live stream. But like Sarah mentioned, doing a New Year's Eve reading. Carry casting, Kimmy's Divination Station. That is so cool. Very good. Did you do anything for the new year specifically with tarot? Did you do any tarot magic? Did you do a tarot reading? Tell me about it. Carry casting is the casting of shells. It's done in Santeria. So it's an interesting practice. Peggy, what was your big gun deck? Yeah, Tarot of Transformation. I don't think it's in print anymore. It's based on sacred geometry, and it is a deck that is very like, Diane Wilkes called it a tarorical. Like it is a tarot deck, but it's really more like an oracle. That one. Oh, here we go. Christiana, would you pull a card on the 2024 April eclipse that's going to happen? A lot of astrologers are talking about it already. Yeah, I'd be happy to. Oh, Lady Lenormand, I didn't know this about you. I love reading tea leaves and divination cups. That's so cool. Oh, Audrey, that's so cool. Hillary and I got together and did a year ahead reading. It was so relaxing. That's so good. Oh, Kimmy's Divination Station, Crystal Tarot. Are you talking about Crystal Visions? Just the way you describe it, it sounds like Crystal Visions. The Fae and the Dragons, purple and pink. Let me know, because I do love that deck. Dina, you looked at your tarot card of the year. It was Judgment. Oh, Lady Lenormand, charms. Yeah, I love charms. And Wendy, you're learning to read palms as well. So cool. Okay, so here it is. The 2024 April eclipse. I know nothing about it. This is the first time I'm hearing about it, because that's it. And I am now seeming to be using light seers. So what can we know about this eclipse and its effects? Okay. I'm going to say this is going to be a very, very powerful eclipse that will shine a light on where truth is and where BS is. in individuals and in society. That could be very interesting. All right. Cosmic Tarot. I like Cosmic Tarot. So this is where, like, I am not a prude, but there is something about Cosmic Tarot that is so sexy that I'm uncomfortable using it for clients. And I can't figure it out because it's not, there's not anything, like, it's not an erotic deck. This, however, Audrey, is an erotic deck in a way, which is kind of cool. Cosmic Tarot is not, but to me, it just feels so sexy that I'm uncomfortable using it with clients. Isn't that weird? Oh my gosh. Trey, so did that match at all what astrologers are saying? Trips. That's so funny. Cosmic Tarot is very 80s. That's why it's sexy. That totally makes sense. That totally makes sense. And that's why it's like uncomfortably sexy to me, because like I graduated high school in 1980. So the 80s were my decade. Graduated high school in 1980, had my son in 1991. So that decade was my party young decade. So that makes sense. That totally makes sense. Okay, so IT John, bring back my full face if you can, just so I can say goodbye with my full face. We are in our, now Wendy's like, I might have to get Cosmic Tarot. See, I would be a good tarot salesperson. I'll sell those sexy decks for real. So we are down to our last 3 minutes. That means it's time for shameless self-promotion. If you have a website, a YouTube channel, a blog, a Patreon, whatever, that your Insta, whatever, that you want to share with us, go ahead and drop it in the links. For those of you who want to get those links and support and follow, remember that the comments take 24 hours to come back to the replay. So just come back in 24 hours to get it. Audrey, you got a new deck, the Sacred Web. It's amazing for shadow work. That reminds me of a chant that we do. We are the weavers. We are the web. We are the bakers. We are the bread. We are the witches back from the dead. But you know, I was in a group years ago. We would do that chant. It was very powerful. But then we would also do things like we are the Flintstones, we are the Fred, or we are the Grateful, we are the Dead. Yeah, we would do all of that because there it is. All right, my friends, remember, StaarCon. You can get a virtual StaarCon ticket for $10, and that allows you to have free classes for a whole year, in addition to the free classes you get here on YouTube. And if you want to spend a little more, you can learn more. You can join us in person. You can join us online. What did that chant accomplish? That was a chant for circle casting and for unity. So we would chant it together at the beginning of the circle to raise our power together. Where can I know it's a good chant, right? Honestly, I would Google pagan chant, we are the weavers, we are the web, and you'll find it. Oh, Karen, thank you. Thank you. This was my first time. Very informative. Thank you so much. Hope to see you again. I should be back here tomorrow at noon with your newsletter recap. This is our last evening class for the month. I know that's unusual. It's because of StaarCon. In February, we'll get back to normal, and we're going to have even more stuff for you after. My friends, I really appreciate you. IT John, thanks to you for running the board. Hope to see you all at StaarCon. I should be back tomorrow, as I said, with the newsletter recap. And I am available for readings right up till the Thursday before StaarCon and starting again the Monday afternoon after StaarCon. So go ahead and book your reading with me. If you're local, I will look forward to seeing you at Panera on Sunday. Oh, Lady Lenormand, thank you so much. So good to spend time with you all. Haven't been here for a while. Yeah, we've missed you. Hope to see you soon. Thank you, Christiana. You're so fun. Well, thank you. This whole thing is so fun, and thank you all for making it fun. We'll look forward to seeing you soon.